Joining me in studio this morning is Bowie County Judge Sterling Lacy, as he does every Tuesday morning after a Monday Commissioner's Court. You, sir, have become a household name in some parts of the country, but for the wrong reasons.
Oh, whoa. Jeff, I tell you what, by the way, we had a Commissioner's Court. We had a lot of fun in Commissioner's Court yesterday.
I heard someone say that it was that they had never seen you do a Commissioner's Court before, and they said you did a very good job in doing it. The way you conduct things, the way that you explain things to people, they were very impressed by that.
And how about that kickoff where most people know Willie Williams, a local pastor here in town, and he was there and had our opening prayer.
Yeah.
We still do opening prayer and pledge. But he also signed up to have 3 minutes of public comments.
Yes.
And so as he went up there, as I always do, I let him know that I've got a timer and there's a bell goes off at the end of 3 minutes.
Sure.
And then before he started talking, I said, a member of your congregation's already offered me $1,000 for this timer if it works.
That's right. And Willie stayed under the 3 minutes, which I was very impressed with.
He rushed through, thought he was near the end, and I didn't tell him, but he actually had 1 minute to go.
Yeah. That is funny. I can just see his congregation now going, okay, so you can do this. That's funny stuff. He talked about, by the way, a very important issue that's near and dear to my heart. I know yours also is juvenile justice, and that some things need to be done in that area. And hopefully sometime in the near future we will be able to do something about that.
And see, that's one of the purposes for the public comment.
Sure.
People can come and address something on the agenda, or as in his case, come and bring up something he thinks ought to be on the agenda.
That's right.
And bring it to our attention. And I think this public comments thing is going to work really well for the future.
Yeah, I'm glad it's there. I really am. Obviously, a lot of controversy surrounding situations. It's national news now, unfortunately, because I say unfortunately because, to me, in my opinion, the citizens of Bowie County come off looking pretty bad here.
Well, and if I may just give you a prepared note here that I made on some 3 of 5 cards. A lot of people called the courthouse yesterday thinking that Bowie County, Texas has stopped having prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance before our Commissioner Court sessions. And, of course, nothing could be further from the truth. This is the Commissioner's Court that moved the American flag into the courtroom in January and initiated having Pledge of Allegiance after the prayer. And so we're not unpatriotic, we're not un-American. In fact, starting about 3 months ago, I introduced a devotional ahead of the prayer. And so we're not un-Christian. For 7 months, 14 regular sessions of the court, we've never failed to have the opening prayer and pledge. And so what's going to happen here is we're going to get the story out to the nation, I think, about how patriotic and how Christian we are. What has happened is there's been a tug of war between the court and the clerk of the court ever since January over who has the final say over the minutes, the court or the clerk of the court. During the spring, several records of the minutes failed to distinguish between what we did before we called the court order and what we did after we called it to order. So on June the 13th, I went temporarily brain dead and led the court to approve the minutes for May 23rd to reflect only the official business after the call to order. We did have a devotional and prayer and pledge on May the 23rd before the call to order, but the amended minutes, which are called an order of the court in Texas, no longer reflected that. Of course, if I had it to do over again, I had any inkling of an idea that we could have been demonized as being unchristian, unpatriotic, never would have done that. So when the court met on July the 11th, we amended the amended minutes for May the 23rd to clearly reflect the preliminaries of a devotional, prayer and pledge, then the call to order, followed by the record of the official minutes of the court of that day. Now, Jeff, you'd think that would be the end of the matter, that our critic would claim a moral victory and we would all move on to the conducting the regular business of the court. Well, people just have to see for themselves what happened in court when I began to give this explanation during the court session July the 11th. So they can look it up at www.BowieCountyClerk.com and watch it for themselves.
Yeah, and you want to be careful when you go there because sometimes you have other videos that will pop up also there's some questionable videos that are there, and so I caution you that as you go there, just be prepared for some things that may come up that may offend.
Don't send the kids there.
No, no. And that's not the official Bowie County site either, is it?
I understand.
So that needs to be clarified as well. Is that is not the official site of Bowie County?
No,
that is the clerk's own personal website.
All right.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a personal question before we go here. Just about a minute here. For you, how do you deal with being demonized in the national media, knowing the truth? How do you deal with that on a personal level? Because I think all of us could learn a little lesson from this.
Well, it has tested everything that I ever counseled people. 35 years of counseling 10,000 people on how to handle the stressful times of their life that brought them to the point where they were consulting a professional counselor. And now I've had to put every one of them to work. But the main thing is the word you use, the truth. I know what the truth of the matter is. I don't have any trouble looking that guy in the mirror when I shave his face in the morning.
Sure.
And I got a clear conscience with God.
Sure. Where do we go to from here?
Okay, move on to the business of the court. My goodness, I've got 10 probate cases here in about 90 minutes. I've got to take care of this morning. All right, and then we've got redistricting, and I'll see the first sample budget for the next year this week, and lots of things are happening in Bowie County Courthouse.
Excellent. Bowie County Judge Sterling Lacy, thank you, sir, for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.